But yeah, college baseball stuff from the weekend. There were some Illinois teams that were winning series, and I mean, starting off with NIU, I feel like they just every week when we do this, they win their series. So shout out to NIU. They won their series again over Kent State. They are 20-11 on the year. They are 12-6 in the MAC. UIC, they swept Murray State. Big win there for UIC. They're 7-5 in the Valley. EIU swept Southern Indiana, so they are 21-11 overall and 10-2 in the OVC. SIUE right there with them in the OVC. They won their series over Little Rock. They're 19-16 and 10-2 in the OVC. And then Bradley, they won their series 2-1 over Valpo. And then a non-conference series, Illinois went 2-1 against New Orleans this past weekend.
Well, I'm going to get in there. One thing I keep seeing that I want to mention, you mentioned Illinois winning their series against New Orleans, but Aiden Flynn. And Tyler will get into it later because he just saw Marist, and that's where Aiden Flynn came out of. But they got another talented lefty over there right now at Marist as well, a sophomore who's been carving. But Aiden Flynn has been a huge bright spot for Illinois this spring. And this most recent outing, I just want to pull it up, but he retired the first 13 batters he faced. He had a career-high 10 strikeouts in the outing, and he struck out 7 straight at one point in his outing. Which, if you're pitching Division I baseball and you're striking out 7 straight guys, that is some dynamic stuff, and really, really impressive to me. So just a really long-levered left-hander that came into his own. Like a lot of these guys that just have these super long levers, maybe not like crazy velo. We talked about this last week. Like those guys that aren't the highest velo guys when they're young, man, as long as they're going on that upward trajectory, like they tend to continue to get better and in the long run tend to be the best. And like Aiden Flynn was always like 81, 83 until his junior year. Then the velo started climbing up and he really, really started to come into his own, getting control of those levers. And like the best is yet to come for him. Like he's still only a freshman there at Illinois and just absolutely doing his thing. So wanted to shout him out just right out of the gate. Like that was one of the things that stood out to me. And then I know we got another left-hander on this list here that maybe you want to get into, Gavin.
Yeah, Drew, it's the same thing we talked about. Like you're mentioning those guys that maybe didn't have the high velo but high pitchability, and then the velo came. Cam Appenzeller, I know we've talked about him a lot, but it's warranted. I mean, the guy just got SEC Freshman of the Week, pitched against number 9 Mississippi State and got the win. Pitched 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, and then previously to that start, he didn't allow a run in 18 1/3 innings. On the year, 36.1 innings pitched, 43 strikeouts, 5 walks, 6 earned runs, and 20 hits allowed. So Cam is having an awesome year at Tennessee in the best conference in baseball right now. Like, good for Cam. It's awesome to see. He's a Glenwood product of 2024 or 2025 grad, out of Glenwood. So yeah, shout out Cam.
It's all about left-handed pitching. I mean, it's great to be a really good arm just in general, but when you're a really good arm and you're left-handed, it elevates you to kind of another level. We talked about like Ethan Eberle in the past and his like unbelievable outings he had. I was just looking at his because I didn't know how he did this past week, but like the fact against Duke on April 2nd, it got tweeted that he went 5 2/3 innings and 15 strikeouts and 1 walk. Man, if you are a left-handed arm and you have dynamic stuff, like we're going to bet on you. And it kind of leads into this next topic here, Gavin, like another highly, highly touted, one of the best left-handed arms that's come through since I've been doing this in the last 10, 11 years. But the best left-handed arm I've seen maybe come through this area in that time is Noah Schultz out of Oswego East. He's a 2022 grad. He was drafted 26th overall by the White Sox out of high school. He was a Vanderbilt commit at the time, and he forego his commitment to sign with the White Sox. And he's been their number 1 prospect through the minor leagues, really started out hot in AAA to start this 2026 season. And the White Sox are calling him up. So he is making his debut on Tuesday, which is the same day that we're podcasting. So this will come out after he made his debut with the White Sox, but really, really pumped for him. You want to talk about just kind of that unicorn prospect, like a Randy Johnson type of frame and really like arm slot and the way it works. Like it's a low three quarter slot. He's 6'9", and has one of the better breaking balls too, as far as like what I had seen coming out of high school. High spin, high sweep, big time horizontal, and just really excited for him and his future. Like if he can stay healthy, log some innings. Another guy with just crazy long levers that it takes those guys just a little bit longer than some other guys to really come into their body, learn how to control those levers. And the big leagues is it's a whole nother story as far as like kind of dominating in the minor leagues and seeing how that'll translate to the big leagues. You truly never know, but just really excited for him, and kind of the process that he's been on, and the rise, and hope for the White Sox sake as well. And for guys like Nick and White Sox fans out there, that this guy is a guy that can kind of bolster that rotation and be a top of the rotation kind of guy in years to come. So time will tell, but him making his debut for the first time, and hopefully Sam Antonacci will be quickly behind him, getting some time in left field there in AAA as well. And I think his name should be called up in the near future. But just another left-hander, another talented left-hander coming out of the state of Illinois and making the big leagues. So happy for Noah Schultz. So I think I mentioned maybe last week or the week before, Gavin, just how they update the top prospects in Major League Baseball. And one that stood out to me, we mentioned Aiden Flynn being an Illinois product. He's at the University of Illinois right now, but Jack Wenninger, originally from Cary Grove, no stranger to really good right-handed arms coming out of Cary Grove when you speak of Quinn Priester and some others. But Jack Wenninger, he was a Murray State commit, spent his first year in college, I want to say, at Murray State, and then he transferred to Illinois. Really good career at Illinois, but he is also on that top 100 prospect list. One of you guys may know what organization he's with, but I wanted to shout him out. Like, we talk a lot about minor league baseball and all this stuff, and he's a guy that has completely slipped my mind. He was not, a top 50, top 20, top 10 prospect coming out of high school, and he clearly just continued to get better and better. Like, I went back and looked at his profile. We had him at an event at a younger age where he was low 80s, and then we saw him at a rock tournament, Pete, or a tournament one summer where the velo had kind of ticked up. Maybe his junior year was up to 87. And that was really kind of all we had on him. But another guy that wasn't that, high 80s freshman, sophomore that's, making a lot of noise early on in his high school career. Just that steady Eddie, continued to climb, kind of a high-waisted, long-levered frame. And he's kind of knocking on the door here in the minor leagues, making a name for himself.
Yeah, I played with Jack in travel ball for 5 years, and yeah, I mean he was not the best player on our team from especially when we were younger. He was arguably one of the worst, especially at the plate, but always was a good pitcher and just never he didn't have the velo yet, and then he hit a growth spurt in high school at some point, and then all of a sudden he's an upper 80s arm and he's our best pitcher, and I mean he kind of just blew up out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean Jack's a great kid, great family, and happy for him. And I've been following him. I think he's the Mets' number two pitching prospect behind Jonah Tong, I think it is. But yeah, happy for Jack.
No, that's awesome. And I think everybody can get caught up in rankings and caught up in this and that and how good you are at a certain age. And we try to harp on it, in our pre-showcase speeches. I try to harp on it here on this podcast. Like everybody runs their own race and everybody is different and everybody pops at a different time. And it is not about how good you are at 14, 15, 16 years old. Even if you can play college baseball and you have to start at a smaller level, that is totally okay. You have a chance to play. You have a chance to develop. Everybody grows. Maybe it's the first time you really develop, devote yourself to the weight room when you get into college or whatever it may be. But it's not about where you begin, it's where you end. And it's all about being on that upward trajectory. So those guys and those stories, I mean, Sam Antonacci's the same way. Like that kid he was always a ball player and his tools continued to tick up year after year. And he's clearly a grinder and a super high baseball IQ. And I can't, talk about those stories enough because I just feel like that's what it's all about. It is very rarely the guy that's when he's 14 is the best player, is still that best player when he's 18, 20 years old. So anytime we can, spotlight those guys, highlight those guys, the rankings is an indicator. It by no means tells you, oh, this is how it's going to be down the road.